Welcome back to the Ringer Gambling Show. I'm your host, Tate Frazier. It's a beautiful Tuesday, so you know what that means. We got cousin Sal in the building. Sal, good to see you on this Tuesday morning. How you doing, man?
Beautiful Tuesday indeed, Tate. I love it. I love this time of year. Football, baseball, it's all in my algorithm. Also, AI of Stephen Hawking getting flipped over in WWE matches. That's in my algorithm. But what I'm not falling for any of those. Let's talk football. Let's talk baseball.
Yeah, let's start with Monday Night Football because Trevor Lawrence had a signature drive, Sal. We've been waiting
Yeah.
on this for quite some time, and eventually it was going to happen. And last night it finally did. It was a stumble, but it led to an incredible moment. There was actually a prop on the board. Trevor Lawrence, 2+ touchdowns in this game, around plus 5,000, and he stumbles into a game-winning touchdown after his guard steps on his foot. This was, I was talking to you before this, the most Eli Manning game-winning drive I've ever seen. Just boneheaded, dumb things that happened. Also, incredible throws that happened. That throw to De'Ami Brown, of course, down the sideline as well. I mean, so what are our takeaways from this game last night? The Jags are officially here, right? This is the Ringer Gambling Show presented by FanDuel, and if you're betting on the NFL, FanDuel's the place to do it. They've got everything. Same-game parlays, quick bets for when you want to jump in live and your way so you can set your own lines. The app's fast. It's easy to use. And best of all, when you win, you get paid out instantly. Download the FanDuel app or go to FanDuel.com/gamblers to get started. Must be 21 and older and present in select states or 18 and older in D.C., Kentucky, and Wyoming. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut.
I'm with you. Well, I picked them to win the AFC South. I don't think
you've
they're
been
a great
jagging off
team.
all offseason.
I'm jagging off all. Yep, but I don't, we'll talk about Trevor Lawrence. Great last drive. You say signature drive. You think Eli Manning should have put his signature on it. I see what you're saying there. Funny they didn't talk about that in the Manning cast, but
Right.
this defense has been very good. I mean, I'm going to go on record and say that pick six was a very, very big part of the game. Do you agree? Do you
Absolutely. I think it was a big play. They get down to the goal line. It was the ultimate bend but don't break. You let them get all the way down to the one, and then you return it 99
You don't get
yards.
that kind of analysis anywhere else, but it goes to show you could have 170 fewer total yards and one more turnover if the other team's turnover is a pick six. It's such a game changer. Big play. But you're right. But Trevor Lawrence coming down at the end. I don't know what that last thing was. It felt like he was like, at some point, like you could almost say he gave himself up on the ground. Like I think like if that was like a prize fight, the ref would come in and be like, no, I'm going to check his eye here, standing 8. But he got up, 3 all-pros, watched him rumble around on the ground and then run it in for that touchdown. I didn't know what I was watching there.
It did feel like he had almost like a college, like he like blacked out for a second where he was like, I'm down. And then he fell down again. And then he was like, oh yeah, that's right. No one touched me. I can run here. And then it threw the entire Chiefs defense for a loop. He gets the game-winning score. That was an amazing moment. I did want to bring up Lloyd, by the way. If you go to FanDuel right now, you can look up Defensive Player of the Year. He obviously won AFC Defensive Player or Player of the Month. But if you look at the odds now, he's plus 2,700. Do you like that, Sal? He's been incredible so far.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That shouldn't be that high. I'm looking at some of these others ahead of them, and it's all the usual suspects, Micah and Myles Garrett, and Aiden Hutchinson is the favorite. But yes, 2,700 at this point in the year. I just feel like he's going to have to force more turnovers, but I think that's what the Jaguars are all about, right? They had 3 or more turnovers forced in the first 4 games, and then we saw what they did last night. So, yeah, he's a big part of that.
Yeah, and they also showed they were being called a little bit of front runners. They had been up in these games, been able to win these games. They get down largest deficit of the season. They had only trailed for 9 minutes so far the entire season, but they come back down 14-0 and win this game. After the game, Patrick Mahomes, Sal, said that they've already lost too many games, talking about his Chiefs team. Are we worried? Are we hitting the panic button officially on this Chiefs team?
No, because the rest of the division, you don't know what you're getting week to week. I'm looking at the division odds and things like that. I'm trying to figure. I would not bet against them to make the playoffs, although this is a very different Chiefs team, right? We're used to like them winning these one-score games. 10-0 last year, one-score games. 0-3 this year. I feel like Mahomes thought he did enough to, it was a Mahomesian script, right? All
Mm-hmm.
that had to happen is the defense step up at the end, and they couldn't get off the field on 3rd and long.
Yeah, Harrison Bunker kicking that ball out of bounds. That was a big moment as well. And then,
That, any housewife would be able to kick it in bounds. I don't know what Harrison Butker's all about there.
maybe we should get one of them out there to kick the ball off for the Chiefs. Yeah, it was fascinating because Mahomes, 19 game-winning drives going for his 20th. It felt like this is classic Mahomes. And again, they come up short, which is really the topic of discussion around the NFL. What is going on with the Chiefs? But Andy Reid does not seem to be too stressed out, and the Jags look like a legit team right now. So let's give some respect to the Jags. Love the jerseys last night, Sal. Maybe think of David Garrard, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yeah.
Love that Jags look. It's really good.
It's nice to go back to the classics, right? Versus what the Bills did, and we'll talk more about that Sunday night. You have to, you need a quarter and a half for your eyes to even adjust to what's going on. But yeah, the Jags are all of a sudden exciting. And Travis Hunter with his breakout game, right? 64 yards receiving, couple tackles, pass deflection. So could be a fun team to watch the rest of the way.
Yeah, big 44-yard catch, his biggest play on offense so far, and had a couple like 3rd down, get up the field moments that were, just showed kind of a presence of mind that we wanted to see from this rookie star. So it was good to see for the Jags. Happy for Jacksonville. Now let's flip the script. Let's talk about some college football because boy, did we have an insane weekend in college football. A lot of people, when they looked at the slate, they said, this is not going to be entertaining. Nobody wants to see these games. Are you kidding me? Penn State at UCLA. And guess what, Sal? We got the biggest upset since 1985 when UTEP did it. A team with no wins beats a top 10 team. Jerry Neuheisel was getting crowd surfed off the field. Jack Wilson, our producer, is going crazy for UCLA. How shocking is this for Penn State to lose this game? And how exciting was it to see a UCLA team finally have some good fortune go their way?
How shocking. I'd give it a 10. And how exciting. I don't know. I'll give it a 3. Let Jack Wilson carry all the excitement if he wants of UCLA football. Maybe he can go to a game, all the game. I mean, the stands.
It was a blowout.
Yeah, I know. Blew out. Everyone's out. First of all, congratulations to us. We both gave Penn State to not make the playoffs at plus 138 last week. And I love that. That is dramatically different now as they come up on what's going to be their 3rd loss soon enough. But James Franklin got everyone off his back. Everyone was like, hey, can't beat top ranked teams. Like, all right, I'll show you. Let's go to the bottom of the barrel and see that I can't take care of those teams either. So it was a really weird game. 2 strange back-to-back 4th and 1 plays, one for UCLA and one for Penn State. I wasn't buying any of them, but good for Neuheisel's kid, Tate. That was fun.
Yeah, and good for Nico. I mean, this is a guy much maligned after leaving Tennessee, obviously goes to one of the worst, if not the worst, Power 4 team in the country and, make some noise this week. Looked like they were calling him Vince Young. Gary Danielson cannot say any other comp. He was just like, this reminds me of Vince Young. So a great night for Nico.
Vince Young, I don't think ever played 5 straight games where he didn't have a lead for a second of it, but okay, it's fine.
Yeah, close enough. Let's talk about the new laughingstock of college football. That's my North Carolina Tar Heels. They are not looking so great, Sal. A double pass opened the game for Clemson for a touchdown. It was over before it really even started. The highlight of the day was Ludacris performing his earliest concert of his career in a Julius Peppers jersey. But outside of that, a lot of stories coming out now about how ill-run the operation is. People calling out Belichick. People calling out our guy Lombardi.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, are we worried about the Bill Belichick experience? Because Bill Simmons is very worried at this point.
Well, I'm worried. I don't know what Simmons is worried about.
He's worried about legacies.
I'm no longer worried about losing you as a podcast partner here to go to North Carolina football.
Yeah, my mom and dad both texted me. Thank God that you stayed in L.A. and they were trying to get me all spring to go back to North Carolina. I think I'm okay.
Good.
Yeah, I'll
get a job
here.
at UCLA. They're hot. They're hot right now. I mean, this is super embarrassing. Ludicrous is the perfect definition of or adjective to use for this team. I don't know that it gets better. I don't know what the future is for Belichick or how much he could deal with this, but they're not good. I mean, losing to Clemson, this version of Clemson is really bad. I think I tweeted, I put it up there with Spygate and Deflategate. It really is bad.
I think it's time to figure out what gate we're going to use to get some wins, Sal. I mean, I don't care if they deflate the footballs or tape practices. Something's got to give here. So hopefully North Carolina can figure it out. A team that seems to have figured it out, Alabama. Obviously, Vandy comes to town. They get up big. not big, but they get up 7-0, I guess, and they get a nice first turnover of the season for Alabama. Ty Simpson throws his first interception, and you're saying to yourself, we're going to look good. Vandy's going to cover the spread. You and I both like Vandy to cover that big number. And then, of course, Alabama strikes back late in this game, a backdoor cover that got both of us. This is a major bet ache, right?
I mean, I'm still burning up so much about the Arizona Cardinals and how they blew that
Oh,
game and
my
how they blew that
goodness.
spread. I almost forgot about the brutal bet ache that was Vanderbilt plus 10.5. They were winning, like you said, a good deal of the game. And then Alabama kicks a field goal to make it 23-14 with a few minutes left. All right, still good. They get the ball back. They go out on downs. I think Vanderbilt, 4th and 2 from the 20, 17 seconds left. This is run it into the line, Tate, up 9. And if you get the first down, great. If you don't, fine. No, pitch off tackle left. Nobody touches the guy. Like no one. And they cross the goal line and without dropping the ball, which is rare these days. I mean, I just knew it. I hate that. It happens so much more in college than anywhere else. But I guess I blame Vanderbilt for not laying a hand on the guy. It was still a pitch left, but God, that is a bad way to lose a bet.
Yeah, I do think it's the top 3 worst beats of the season. We got the Villanova cover against Penn State in absolute garbage time. That was terrible. We got the Mendoza running back into his own end zone, taking the safety. That was insane. And then we got this Alabama game as well. So I think those are the big 3 right now when I'm talking about bad beats in college football. Another bad beat for college football, Arch Manning. A lot of takes about him being the best player in college football, the best player since Tim Tebow. All of that looks very moot at this point. Looks almost insane. They go down to the swamp. You and I both like Florida. You like Florida to cover. I like Florida money line. I feel like I've liked Florida money line every single week. And the Gators finally came through for us. Congratulations to Billy Napier, the best coach in the country when it comes to being on the hot seat. Great day for us.
He's the best. He's off the hot seat forever now, as far as I'm concerned. We rode him for like 6 weeks, and finally he came through. But that's the DJ Lagway we thought, right? We'd see like almost 300 yards passing. I don't know. We'll talk about Arch Manning later, I think, a little bit, but he takes so long to get warmed up. Like every first half is like his first half. So I don't know what to make of it. And just the team itself isn't good. They draw a lot of penalties. They lost time of possession. I guess that's Arch's fault too, by 9 minutes. And still it's right up there. I don't know what to make of this Texas team. It's weird when you talk about, well, we'll get to our bets in a second about what the future holds for Texas.
Yeah, I had a buddy that reached out to me, a big Texas fan. He said that we're calling it the Bryce Young syndrome, where he cannot respond until he gets down 10 plus points. And I do feel like Arch has a little bit of that. So, I mean, maybe it's a good thing Bryce Young ended up being the number 1 pick. Maybe Arch can follow suit there, but it is a very strange phenomenon right now in college football. Speaking of college football, let's do some line look aheads. We got a fun slate this weekend. Let's start here. Number 1, Ohio State traveling to take on Illinois, the Fighting Illini, number 17 in the country. Illinois plus 14.5 in this one. The over-under set at 51.5. What do you like in this one, Sal?
Well, I think you have to decide before you pick this game how much credence you're going to lend to that Illinois-Indiana game, right? Because Indiana beat them by like 50. I don't know. Maybe the whole team had mononucleosis. Even Ryan Day is telling the Ohio State team not to focus on that. And since then, Illinois clobbered Purdue on the road and beat a pretty good USC team the week before. But to make this a game, the offensive line has to play better for Illinois, and the running game has to produce. And Aiden Lawfrey should be back, could make a difference. I think the Buckeye offense starts slow, eventually wins, but Brett Bielema's team stays within the margin. Let's say 27-19. I'm going to take the 14.5.
Yeah, I like that. It's just a big number, 14.5. And I do think on the road, Ohio State struggled on the road in the first half against Washington. Again, Julian Sayin is a true freshman, so he's still trying to find his footing on the road. So I just think Luke Altmaier looked great in that USC game. He threw one, he caught one, he rushed for one, the triple threat there as far as touchdowns are concerned. So I think he's playing some good football right now. So Illinois plus 14.5, I'm right there with you. You can get that at minus 110. Next game line, look ahead. We got number 8 Alabama at number 14 Missouri plus 3.5 in this one. The over-under set at 53.5. Who do you like here, Sal?
It is so tough to pick these SEC games, right? It's like as good as Alabama has been to only be a 3.5 point favorite, like they're favored to win this conference. So they're 3.5 to Missouri, who's been great, but Georgia and Auburn's another one. Like this week, we're not even covering it. There's going to be 3 of these coin flip top 20 SEC matchups every week until Thanksgiving. So I could see Alabama being another letdown spot like I did last week, and that didn't work out. I thought for sure it was, but you have to figure out which number you're going to land on. Strength of schedule for Missouri is 108th. That's not great. And it's probably why they're racking up as many points as they do, 45 points a game. But I still think Bo Perbola will put up big numbers against the Tide, who has trouble. They allow a few big plays per game. So I'm going to take the over. I'm staying away from this spread. I'm going to say it's like a 31-28 type game. Take over 53.5.
I like the over there, and I will say Prabula is what Penn State fans are saying, the one that got away. They wanted him to stay now that Drew Aller's not delivering the goods, even though Aller played okay in that game against UCLA. Don't want to put too much on him, but yeah, Mizzou has looked good. Hardy feels like a guy that's in the Heisman mix. Maybe he can make his real announcement this weekend with the big game. I'm going to take a big swing here, Sal. I'm going to take Mizzou money line. Kalen DeBoer in his press conference, they asked him about Mizzou, and he said they're undefeated. Like it almost like he had to remind the Alabama media that Mizzou is a good football team. I think the rest of the world has somehow forgotten that they're a good football team. Playing in Columbia, that's a crazy environment. It's a fun place to play, and I think they show up big in this game. So I'm going to take Mizzou plus 130.
You know, I'm looking at these conference odds for the SEC, and Bama's at top at 2-1, and I wouldn't take that only because, like I said, there's a bunch of these 3-point, 2-point games every week. There's value on Oklahoma 7-1, Missouri 11-1. You know, if you still believe in Texas, it's 13-1. Even when are you ever going to get Georgia at plus 650 in mid-October?
I like that. I like that there's some there's some usual suspects there, but I like the big swing. So I think Mizzou could end up being in the mix. Speaking of Texas and Oklahoma, let's talk about the Red River Showdown. We got number 6 Oklahoma at Texas. Texas minus 2.5 in this one. Over under set at 43.5, which is very fascinating. It sounds like John Mateer will be back and will be playing in this game. Sal, who do you like in this one?
You like Red River or Red Rifle or Red Rover? Which one do you like? I know they've all been banned over the years.
Yeah,
what do we call this?
I always forget which one I can say. I mean, that's really, as I was sitting there, I was like, I don't even know what it is anymore. I think it's the Red River Rivalry or Red River Showdown. I don't know. They keep changing it. So
yeah, I think it's Rivalry and it's sponsored now.
By Burger King.
I'm gonna hand the balls. Yeah, Bojangles, Red River Rivalry. I like Texas, and I can't give you many other reasons other than this has to be a save face type of game. And Mateer coming back, it screwed with our numbers a little bit. I'm going to take them minus 130 or maybe moved a little. And I think this is where maybe they brought him back a little early and he gets rattled, or it could be too big a spot for Hawkins, who did fine last week. I'm going to say Texas 24-16. I know we have to call it, but I don't love this game. You're going the other way. You're going to make better give better reasoning than I am.
Well, I will say the Texas defense is the only thing that gives you a little bit of pause because they have played some really good. They get their paws on a lot of quarterbacks. They got a great pass rush. Yeah, Colin Simmons obviously is a guy that showed some. He had like 3 straight stops against Florida on one possession where it was just like, okay, this guy independently is making a play for his team right now. But the Texas offense still scares me. I think Mateer, obviously it was surgery, so there's always going to be some concern there. But I just think that this offense is a lot better. I think Ben Arbuckle, the OC for Oklahoma, is going to be dialing up some big-time plays in this game. And I don't think Texas can score with Oklahoma if they play the way that they should on offense. So I'm going to take Oklahoma money line in this one. You get plus money here, Sal. Plus 108. Obviously, anything can happen in a rivalry game, but I like the Sooners in this one.
Well, you're probably right. This is a tough one for our friend Scott Holmes, big Texas fan. Usually is passed out on brisket and Budweiser by like 9:45.
I want the Texas fans to have something to root for, and I do feel bad for them because they spent the past 2 years just grilling Quinn Ewers, telling us how bad he was and how much they wanted Arch, and now you get what you wanted, and he does not look like the part right now. But maybe this is a bounce-back game for Arch, just save face game, like you said. Next one, line look ahead. This one's near and dear to your heart. Number 7, probably the best game of the weekend. Number 7, Indiana at number 3, Oregon, minus 8.5 for the Ducks. 55.5 is the over/under. What do you like in this one, Sal?
Well, I inadvertently made us cover this last week because FanDuel teased us into thinking it was they had it on their ledger, and that
it's a little deja vu, and the line has moved, so we got a little different conversation.
They listed it, and I waited and waited. Now you never suited up against Oregon. You think I'd know this? I have Archie on my Find My tracking his every step, and none
you
of them
texted him, "How's the environment this weekend?" He's like, "I think we're on a bye."
He's like, "I'm alone in Autzen Stadium. What's going on?" Yeah, so I think this is, I don't even remember what I picked last week, but I've thought about it more, and I think this is a nice teaser play. Oregon essentially to win at home, minus 2.5, paired with the under. Again, I want to throw out that IU-Illinois game where the Hoosiers clobbered the Illini by 50 because it doesn't jive with anything else. Indiana struggled to move the ball versus Iowa. And, they're a bottom ranking team in explosive plays. Both teams top 10 defensively in major categories. So I think it's like a 30-23 type game, maybe 33-23. I don't want to fool with the spread, but I think Dante Moore's wins this fairly easily, and Dan Lanning's defense does enough to keep it under. So Oregon -2.5, under 61.5 teaser.
I like that call. I will say this is a Heisman showdown potentially. Mendoza going up against Moore, so that could be something to keep an eye on as far as those sort of standings after this one. I have been tinkering with the idea of going with Indiana here because Indiana has looked really, really good, as you expect. And Oregon, maybe you say the Penn State win isn't as impressive. They obviously struggled a little bit at Northwestern before finding their footing. They blew out Oklahoma State, but again, no quality real wins right now for the Ducks. So maybe there's some rationale to say, hey, Indiana's played better competition and look better, but I just can't get away from how explosive this offense is, and the more-to-more connection to Corian Moore as well. I just think that they're really, really good, and the athleticism of Oregon is going to overwhelm Indiana a bit in this game. So I'm going to take the Ducks to cover -8.5. You can get that at -110, but great slate, Sal. Going to be a fun week of college
football. Ducks,
football.
Fun. And like I said, there's a couple that we didn't cover. That Georgia-Auburn game is big, and there's some others that I forgot, but we can't do all of them, Tate. This is only, we have John Jastremski coming up, and he has a lot to say.
He's got too much to say. I will say another game to point out, just as far as the playoff is concerned, the G5 of it all. North Texas taking on South Florida. That could be like a G5 national championship game. So whoever wins that one will be the G5 kind of early crown champion at this point.
Friday
So
night.
yeah, watch that game on Friday. That'll be a good one. Let's do some track to the futures here. First up, Heisman winner. Looking at the odds here, Sal, who do you like on the board? It keeps shuffling every single week.
Yeah, so what do we have right now? We have Dante Moore's at top +500, Carson Beck 6-1, Ty Simpson +750. Carson Beck's in a good spot, I think, because they'll be favored the rest of the year. And if he goes undefeated, it's probably his. But if Miami loses a dumb game like the SMU or something, I would say look for Julian Sayin to move up from +1,400. Maybe that's changed since 1,600 now. Wow. He still has the national attention games. He'll have the game against Penn State, Ohio State. They get some juice this week against Illinois. So if they roll all three, just saying, as Harry says, just saying, could be Julian Sayin. He's already 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, over 1,300 yards. So
yeah, and he outdueled Arch in the first week, so he's already got some good momentum on his side. I'm going to go chalk here. I'm just going to stick with Carson Beck. I love the narrative, him going from Georgia down to Miami. Everybody's saying that it was a big mistake. He was going to be a bust this year, and if you watch that Miami-Florida State game, obviously, the D-line for Miami was the main storyline, but Carson Beck gets the job done. He's the face of this team, and he looks like he's completely locked in. No sideshow distractions, no stolen Lamborghinis to get people not talking about the football, so it's a good spot to be in. So +600, still feel like there's some value, and I feel like that's going to keep shading lower and lower as the season kind of wanes on. So it's going to get all the way down to probably +150, +250 at some point. So you get some value now at +600. So I'm going to go with Beck.
Yeah, the way you explained it there, I think there is a lot of value because we're about to talk about who's going to finish the season undefeated, right? That didn't change, right? I didn't want to. Okay. No. And so if Miami finishes undefeated, Carson Beck really, really, really should win the Heisman Trophy. But you're not going to get nearly as good odds of Miami finishing undefeated, right?
Yeah, and it starts. Yeah, it's not
-165.
Yeah, no value there. So just take if you believe in Miami and the Hurricanes that we've seen so far, and you don't believe they're going to have a slip-up game, now is the time to act. And I think +600 is the move there. Let's do track to the future. Finish season undefeated. Who do you like on the board? Not Miami with those odds. So who do you like, Sal?
No, well, I bet you thought that your North Texas mention was going to be the only one of the podcast. Oh no,
Mean Green.
Oh, no, my friend, +390. And we could go Oregon, Ohio State, Miami, but the North Texas is that from a movie, The Mean Green? Is that a real team?
I think the Mean Machine is from a movie, right?
Yeah. Okay. So this is a real team, and they're real good. They're going to win that American Athletic Conference. They have a tough one, as you mentioned, this Friday, home against South Florida. And then they're home against Navy next month. But I think it's smooth sailing the rest of the way for Eric Morris, who just a couple years ago, Tate, patrolling the sidelines at Incarnate Ward. You're not going to learn this from Van and Joel. That's something I'll just dig up on Wikipedia. So let's go Mean Green plus 390 to finish undefeated.
I'm a big fan of this North Texas team. I watch every Wazoo game, and Wazoo went down there and got absolutely smacked by North Texas, and that's when my radar went up, and I was like, okay, this team is legit. Not to say that Wazoo is a great team this year, but I do think North Texas is really good, and they handle their business. So plus 390 feels like some good value there. I'm going to go with the Ducks. I'm going to go with Oregon plus 130. I like that it's still plus money at this point, and I look at their schedule, and I really don't see them slipping up. And again, this offense can handle anybody. They can run up and score a bunch of points if they need to. The defense is stepping up in real time. So I really do like the Ducks at plus 130. And I'm not just sucking up to you and Archie.
No,
I
get it.
Yeah.
I get it. No, I look at their schedule. This is the game that they would get tripped up in, right? Like this is, and they're still a monster favorite. So
yeah, give me the Ducks. Next up, track to the future to make the playoffs. We obviously had the good call with Penn State plus 138 last week, but that was to not make the playoffs.
Right.
Who's a team on the board, Sal, that you like to make the playoffs?
I had Georgia Tech, the Ramblin' Wreck, the Yellow Jackets to make it before the season started, and now they're plus 270, and I still like it. They go to Duke, and then not a bad run the rest of the way. They've won some close ones. They had that game against Georgia at the end of the year, but that won't boot them from the ACC championship game, which I think they'll get there. And by the way, they could have 2 losses, even if they lose in the ACC championship against Miami. That could be enough to get them into the playoffs. So give me some Haynes King in the postseason at plus 270.
Yeah, they've had some big wins on big stages, so a lot of people already know about this team. A lot of talk about Haynes King in general. So, like, the narrative push for Georgia Tech, I think, is really valuable there at plus 270. I did a little wiggle room here. This is make the playoffs, but not the CFP. This is the NFL playoffs. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Houston Texans.
This was allowed.
I figured we had some wiggle room here. I'm gonna go with the Houston Texans. Plus 168. They showed me something in Baltimore. I was at the Rams game out here. They just threw that game away for the most part.
Right.
Matthew Stafford was great down the stretch, of course. But the Texans, to me, feel like a good football team that's finally figuring out who they are. Nico Collins starting to become the player I thought he would be this year. So I like C.J. Stroud. I like the Texans. And I love that D-line. That D-line just makes plays. Will Anderson up there for Defensive Player of the Year as well. So plus 168. Give me the Houston Texans to make the playoffs.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, right? Plus money.
Boy, it's really going to be 3 AFC South teams in contention for the playoffs and for that division lead. I mean, they were 4-0. They were beasts this year. They were 4-0 this week. I do think the Texans are kind of lucky. They had to get right at home against the Titans, and then they go to Baltimore against the Lamarless Ravens and play with like 8 defenders. I don't know what's going on there, but they're off this week. That's not a bad number, plus 168 for that division.
I like the plus money there, and I do feel bad for Cooper Rush. He deserved better, you know what I mean? Poor Cooper Rush. Pour one out for him, former Cowboy. Last one, track to the future. This division is making no sense right now. AFC North, right now the Ravens still favored, and they are a minus at this point, even though they're sitting at an abysmal record, and the team seems to be, you know, asking for Harbaugh to get fired at this point. I don't even know what's going on in Baltimore, but what do you like in the AFC North, Sal, and what's the play, I guess, is the real question.
I mean, you know, I think the play is Cincinnati's not going to get there, right? Because Burrow comes back too late. The Browns are the Browns. We've seen enough of that over the years and even this year to know that. So it's
Dylan Gabriel didn't
race.
look too bad, though. We'll give him some
I thought
credit.
he was good.
Yeah.
I thought he was, you know, I told Simmons, like, you know, you expect these guys to check down a lot, right? 15, 20 times. But at least he got the check down out to the fullback, to the tight end, to the, you know, wide receiver on the line of scrimmage pretty quickly, right? So
even that last drive, like he made some throws to keep him in, you know, contention at that point.
Yeah, it's fine. You see some good things, but I don't think they're going to be, you know, when I mean, they're playing the Steelers this week. That line is a little fishy. I get everybody. You like the Steelers here too. I'm trying to make a case for the Ravens of why they would be minus 105. They're 2.5 games behind Pittsburgh now. They have the Rams coming to town. Pitt's playing some good teams though in a few weeks. They have in like the end of October starting. They have Green Bay, Indianapolis, at the Chargers, at Detroit, and then 2 more against Baltimore. So I hate minus 105 for a team that hasn't even announced when Lamar is coming back and has like a UPS van drivers playing the secondary, but this is not over yet. I'll say Baltimore Not very confident, minus 105, but you probably have the right side here.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with the Steelers. I feel like it broke their way this year. Aaron Rodgers loves a redemption story, and I do feel like this is the ultimate comeback situation where they win a terrible division, but Aaron Rodgers gets to do I told you so. You know, we get to December, and he's like, this is the right play. I was always supposed to be with a franchise with this level of pedigree. I mentioned before the season how much he has kind of like Steelers ideology that's been put into his brain. So I just feel like this is classic Aaron Rodgers getting his get back when we all know the division is terrible. So plus 130. Still value there. Eventually, that's got to flip where they're going to be the favorites to win this division. So you might as well get it while you can.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and the rest of it feels like a movie where Sylvester Stallone and the guys get together to go one last play here. You know what I mean? So I'm glad it's working out.
Let's
for
look
him.
at this. Like, could it have shaken out any better for Aaron Rodgers here, right? You play for the Steelers, you play for Mike Tomlin. You know, no matter what, he's going to keep you around 500. You got DK Metcalf in there. You have a defense who, traditionally is not going to embarrass you. Oh, and let's add
TJ Watt.
The first month, the other three quarterbacks in your division all go down. Whatever, Flacco was switched out, and they're still not a minus to win the division after this 2.5 game lead, probably 3.5 after this week.
It's actually disrespectful that they're not the favorites at this point. So maybe they can use that as some bulletin board material. We're going to dig up some bulletin board material for John Jastremski. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to do some over-under reactions. And we're going to ask him what's happening with the Yankees. We'll be right back after the break. The Ringer Gambling Show is brought to you by FanDuel. Ready to fire up your Saturdays? FanDuel's got a boost you don't want to miss. It's called Boostin' with the Boys, and it's giving everyone a college football profit boost every single week. So here's how it works. Each week, we're giving everyone a profit boost to use on college football. No invite-only nonsense. Everyone gets the boost. We're talking real games, real teams, real Saturdays with an extra payout on the line. It's easy. It's fun. And guess what? It's only on FanDuel. So go to FanDuel.com/gamblers to download the app and get in on all the action. Must be 21 and older and present in select states, or 18 and older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. All right, welcome back to the Ringer Gambling Show. Joining us now, you know him very well, JJ Bombs, John Jastremski in the building. JJ, how you holding up? I like the Yankees hat, man. Big night tonight.
Tate, I'm doing well. I know all of Canada hates me at the moment, so it's good to be hated by a country after you fire off a confident Yankees in 4 prediction. But I will be at Yankee Stadium later. I'm bringing Mom. We're pulling out all the stops.
Whoa.
So, listen, it beats the alternative. Could be home. Could be golfing.
I like the whole family move there. That's good.
Why are you bringing your mother? Is this a punishment for something she did to you as a kid? Is she a Blue Jays fan? Maybe she's a Blue Jays fan.
No, actually, it is a token of appreciation, Sal, for all of the help that I'm getting with our little one who's about to be 5 months old. She's a big part of the babysitting duties, and my wife said no, so you got to work down the pecking order. You know what I mean?
Right.
It takes a village. There you go.
And you got to change the luck, more importantly. So this is going to do it. This should do it.
Let's flip the luck. Before we get to the Yankees, let's play a fun game here. My favorite game, over under reactions. I'll read a statement, and we'll get your over under reaction based on what you think. Let's start here with my guy. I'll say this. Bill Belichick won't be the coach at UNC this time next year. JJ, I'll go to you first. Over or under reaction?
Wow, I am going to say that is an overreaction.
Okay, good.
Despite the fact that it has been nightmarish and there has not exactly been the best PR on the planet for Coach Belichick, and the Patriots have righted the ship, and anything involving Drake May is like banned from the Patriots or the UNC, Twitter handles, because
that was a made-up story, by the way. I got the inside source. They said,
of course you do.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody would, it's you. I just don't think it's a one and done. You want to tell me 2 and done? Sure. You want to tell me 3 and done? I'm going to get the sense that Belichick is back at Chapel Hill next year.
I like it. Sal, what about you? Over underreaction?
You know, I'm hoping he goes back to the Patriots. I'm sick of all the winning in New England, honestly.
Me too.
His touch. I'll say overreaction. I mean, what are they going to do? Is he going to retire? They're going to live off Jordan's mall job at Forever 21? It's not going to happen. But I think if it's up to Bill, he stays. But only one person really knows the answer to this question. That person is Tate Frazier. What's going to happen, Tate?
100%.
Yeah, my mom texted me. She said she's very happy that Drake May is not being coached by Bill Belichick. So that is the state of things at this point for
You
bringing
should
our
take her
moms
to the
into the
Yankee game
equation.
to thank her. Yeah.
Take her to a Patriots game at some point. Yeah, I'm a little concerned, but I do think you're getting paid $10 million a year. I think he'll be all right. And the buyout's about $30 million. So nobody's trying to scrounge up that money right now. So Bill Belichick, you're safe for now. Next up, a guy who might not be safe as far as Texas fans are concerned. Arch Manning is the Bronny James of college football. Sal, over or underreaction?
Wow, the Bronny Jam. First of all, what's this announcement going to be with LeBron? Is it
It's a
becoming an ice
Hennessy
agent?
announcement. He is announcing
He's
that he
joining
is
Tate's
Team
Country
Hennessy.
Club and is going to be matching up with him one-on-one. That's the
Is that
announcement,
it?
Sal.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Tate versus LeBron, and Tate's going to take all of his money.
Bronny's got a good golf swing. I want to play golf with him. He looks great
I hope
out there.
that's it. Maybe he'll go through every Taylor Swift track and rank them as he leaves. I think this is an overreaction, and in a way, it's unfair to Bronny because really no one thought he'd be great. Arch, on the other hand, had all the mechanics and all the hype. So, but if you want to look at it, is Arch a better college player than Bronny? I don't know. Maybe it's close. I kind of feel like the Raiders would take him right this very second anyway.
Yeah, I like it. What about you, JJ? Over or underreaction?
It's an overreaction. Let's give Arch Manning a chance to finish out this year. Number two, he has in his back pocket the idea of going back to Texas next year to
Right.
build back that draft stock. It's not like he's a shoo-in now where it's like, okay, he's in the NFL at the end of the year. He's a guaranteed lock to be in the draft, and he's going to be with all these other quarterbacks. No, he could go back to school. He's already proclaimed there's a good chance he's going back to school. Let's cool the Jets on this one.
And that's what Archie Manning said at the beginning of the season. And people said he was crazy, that he was negging his own grandson. And it turns out he was just prophetic at some level. So shout out to Archie for being right.
All right, he can go back to school, but is the school Texas? I mean, maybe it's a reverse of what everyone else does. Maybe he has to go to
Maybe it's North Carolina with Bill Belichick.
Yeah, maybe he's Wake Forest head quarterback next year. I don't know.
We'll take him. We don't have a quarterback. We got Max Johnson, who sounds like a Dirk Diggler character, a friend in Boogie Nights or something. So next up, we should retire wideouts after Penn State and Buffalo after those losses. JJ, I'll go to you first. Over or underreaction?
No, it's an overreaction. The whiteout is still one of the best scenes in sports. I've experienced it quite a bit. I know times are tough for the James Franklin apologists at the moment because, normally they flex and beat the schools they should beat. And then when they go up against the best, the Oregons, the Notre Dames, the SEC schools, that's where they get taken to the woodshed. No, the whiteout is great. Come on, Sal. I can't look at one performance at a loss and say we got to retire it now. No, whiteout's here to stay.
I'm with you. I think it's an overreaction. Also, the blood really stands out. The Bills Mafia, as they dive through the tables, it stands out on the white shirts. And it's kind of funny to see these people all dejected, looking like they're exiting a freak-off party. But those Bills uniforms, different story, JJ. Get rid of that nonsense. So many nice options in Buffalo.
Yeah, I should have
We're
thrown in the
agreement on
Diddy
that.
party
The
in
Bills,
there as well.
Some of these teams with the uniforms, especially in the NFL,
Yeah.
when in doubt, go back to the throwbacks. The throwbacks
Right.
are beautiful. We saw it with Tampa and Seattle. My team, maybe if they actually wore the throwbacks every week, they wouldn't look like the garbage product that they are on the field. So, more
Right.
throwbacks, please, please.
Yeah, definitely. The Jaguars look great in the throwbacks. You know what I mean? And they won the football game. So there you go. Next
one
up.
more thing about whiteout,
please.
Tate. Our friend John Blundell told us a story, me and JJ, the other day about a mutual friend of his, and JJ's pouring whiteout in his eyes inadvertently. So yes, whiteout could be a bad thing, JJ.
Yes, again.
Don't pour white out in your eyes, kids. Also, don't make this proclamation that I'm about to say to you guys. I've seen a lot of analysts saying this. Booger was one of the guys that put it out there, but I'll say it to you, Sal. Dak Prescott is the NFL's MVP. Over or underreaction?
No, it's an overreaction. He's
Okay.
playing well for what he's been given. I mean, I think we've all figured it out. This award is reserved for a top 2 seed, right? A quarterback. It has to be a quarterback, as years have shown us. in a top 2 seed. And unless Jerry buys the award with the leftover Michael loot, I don't think it's happening. 22-1 is a little high. 10 touchdowns. I think he has 3 interceptions, playing for an O-line that has trouble blocking, and, first string all pro wide receiver has been absent. So good year for Dak, but this is an overreaction.
It's an overreaction. To your point, they're going to be a 500 team. Yeah. I don't think Baker Mayfield in the MVP conversation is an overreaction. No, that's my guy. I'm all in, as are you, Sal. We took Tampa to go and win the Super Bowl. We took them NFC. I got them over 11.5 wins. I'm willing that into existence here, the Baker Mayfield narrative. The problem is I have bet against Tampa too much in the regular season. I got to cool that,
They're stupid.
It is stupid
how they're in every game.
I will say that Baker Mayfield, by the way, I mean, he's probably the number 1 guy right now. Late game drive, you need someone to go get you a touchdown. I mean, obviously Mahomes would be the right answer, I guess, but Baker Mayfield looks like the guy right now that would be the present right answer for that situation. So shout out
Tate,
to the
he's
Bucs.
like you on 17 and 18. I want you on 17 and 18. I want Baker inside of 2.5 minutes. 100%.
I'll take that as a major compliment there, JJ. Next up, let's talk about a team that has been getting no compliments other than week 1, I guess. The Jets are going to go winless this season. Sal, I'll go to you first. Over or under reaction?
No, that's an overreaction. It's too hard to go winless in a season. I think they have still on their schedule the Panthers, your Panthers, Tate,
Wait a
the
second.
Browns.
Panthers coming off a win.
Okay, sorry. Pal, forget the Panthers. They have the Browns, the Saints. They have JJ's Dolphins. JJ, that would crush you if the Jets are 0-12 heading into that second Miami game, which I think is like the first week in December. That's a new low, right?
Honestly, no, because I'll be so numb to where the season is at that point in time. Probably I won't care one way or another, and it will probably be beneficial to go and lose games and get themselves a better draft pick, because that's kind of where ask me that question in a month. If the Dolphins go and salvage things, I may have a totally different answer. But as far as the Jets, it's an overreaction. Listen, they stink. Aaron Glenn looks totally in over his head. All of the stuff that was promised in the offseason about a cleaner, crisper, more put together football team has been total nonsense. But guys, it's the NFL. Everybody wins a game. Watch, the NFL is so silly. Watch them go to London and win a game this week against the Broncos, even though it makes no sense and there's no justification for it. That's football in a nutshell. So they are winning a game. It's an overreaction.
Yeah, 0 takeaways this season. So eventually you feel like they're going to get something to get this defense going. So maybe this is the week that can get it going for the Jets. Next up, the Raiders should trade for Shedeur Sanders. This is a Dame Lillard prediction here. JJ, I'll go to you first. Over or under reaction?
I feel like I'm giving you nothing but overreactions. Yeah, it's an overreaction. I'm dying. The Raiders have enough problems going on. Now all of a sudden, we're going to bring in the circus of Shedeur Sanders, who can't even beat out Dylan Gabriel for the spot in Cleveland to go and be the quarterback. Sal, there's a reason why Shedeur Sanders fell into the 5th round. These teams that are spending all of this time on interviews, research, everything that goes into the NFL draft process made it crystal clear what the overall assessment of Mr. Sanders is. No, thank you, Raiders. That's a pass.
I am absolutely with you. The Browns, as inept as they are, wouldn't you think if he was ready, they would put him in? Like, why do they want to, right? This is their one way to save face if Shedeur Sanders is in. He's not ready. Otherwise, he would be in. But I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to say underreaction. I think Shiloh Sanders could play quarterback for the Raiders right now. What would Vegas have to give up for Shedeur? Could they scrounge up a couple of drink tickets from Caesars? I'm not.
I think it's cash considerations, right? Yeah.
2 tickets to the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere. I'd like to see it. But yes, I'm with JJ. It doesn't make sense in that he won't be ready.
Yeah, the Raiders love a circus, though, and Shedeur would bring them the media circus. If they're going to lose games, they might as well lose them in dramatic and, circus-like fashion. So I feel like Mark Davis, don't count him out. I feel like there's always a chance he could get something done. Last one, Philadelphia had a worse weekend than New York. JJ, I'll go to you first here. Over or under reaction?
I'm going to say yes. It's an underreaction. Well, hold on a second. For this one, if Philadelphia had a worse weekend than New York, I'm just
saying it's a proper reaction, maybe.
I think it's a proper reaction. Listen,
there you go.
The Phillies and the Dodgers were even money, right? They're now 2-0 going back to L.A., a.k.a. they're cooked. The Eagles have Super Bowl aspirations. We know the Jets and the Giants stink. There's no overreacting to the Jets and the Giants losing games. That's what we see every single week for the last couple of years. And the Yankees, at least, are returning to Yankee Stadium. It's close, Sal, but I'm going to say it's a proper reaction. So underreaction.
Well, I
There you
think it
go.
is close because you have if you add Penn State in there, JJ, is that a Philadelphia team? I mean, that was a monster.
No, they don't
upset
count as a
then.
Philadelphia
They don't
team.
count.
They might
I'm
for
gonna throw-
some. I don't think they should, but
I'll
you
throw
know.
something else at you. This is something maybe people don't want to talk about. Mark Sanchez, does he count as an Eagle? Or a
Oh
Jet?
boy, you went there, not me. You went there, not me, buddy boy.
All right, I don't know. It really depends, Tate. Where you
I
count
think
Mark
it's all
Sanchez.
included. I think it's a tough
Okay.
weekend for Philly, so we'll pour one out for our boy DeBundo. I know he's going through some
Yeah.
tough times right now. And man, what an epic
He's got
finish
his
for the
Colts,
Dodgers.
Tate. I don't want to hear it. He's
I
got
know.
Danny Indiana Jones now. He's okay. Don't feel bad for
Right.
the Bundo.
Yeah, he'll be all right. One last thing before we get down here. I wanted to ask you, JJ, about the 72 Dolphins. Do we think that they are basically the curse of this current Dolphins iteration? Like, do we need another team to go undefeated so that the Dolphins in modern times can finally get over the hump? Because it does feel like every year Dolphins fans can say, hey, 72, we're still good here.
question.
Are you worried about this?
Listen, at this point, I'm so numb to it. If these guys who are 70 and 80 years old want to pop champagne every year, more power to them. Like, they're living their best life. They're, clinging to that moment of glory that will never be duplicated in the NFL ever again. No, I think it's more due to the fact that their new stadium, they were saying, is built on like haunted ground, something with like the Indian
Yeah,
reservation
built by the
or
72
something.
Dolphins, yeah.
I've read that rumor over the years. So listen, I am all for like any sort of like voodoo breaking sort of spirit that we can do in South Florida to get the first playoff win in 25 years, which by the way will extend another year because Dolphins are not going to the playoffs. So I'm all for that. Sal, if you have any folks that you can refer me to, I'd love to
Yeah.
get them down to South Florida, please.
I do. All my friends are voodoo related. Yeah. Although Tate, you say the Dolphins not going to extend that streak. This is the earliest the 72 Dolphins have been able to click glasses, champagne glasses. Right? There's no undefeated teams now after week 5.
No undefeated teams. Yeah, very fascinating how quickly it all happened. There's a lot of teams that are just kind of, parity has always been a point in the NFL, but it does feel like this year, outside of some bottom feeders, everybody's kind of in every game. So congratulations to the 72 Dolphins. You got it done again. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got more with JJ. We're going to talk Yankees. We're going to talk World Series, and we're also going to talk about the Dolphins a little bit more. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to the Ringer Gambling Show. We're having some fun here. We got Cousin Sal in the building, and we got John Jastremski, and JJ is going to be in Yankee Stadium tonight to watch the Yankees try to fight back from the brink of defeat. And JJ, let's just start there. Like, what is the panic level? What is the concern level? What's the vibe right now in New York City when it comes to the Yankees?
Obviously, you're going to be panicked. You got absolutely smoked and steamrolled in the first 2 games up in Toronto, but I don't look at the series, Tate, Sal, and say it's over because Toronto has owned the Yankees north of the border. The Yankees have played much better baseball against the Blue Jays at Yankee Stadium. They won both regular season series. They, in theory, should have the edge in both of these pitching matchups. Bieber's only thrown about 7 games since coming back from Tommy John. If the Yankees win Game 3, it's a bullpen game against Schlittler, who was larger than life against the Red Sox.
Incredible.
I think there's a very viable path for the Yankees getting this series back to Toronto. The problem I have is that Max Fried has pitched terribly at the Rogers Center all year. The Yankees have played terrible in Toronto all year, and it's tough for me to imagine they can go into that building and win. But when you're down 2-0 in the series, hey, just get there at this point, and it starts with Rodon giving you a big effort. But more importantly, the Yankee bats that have been pretty quiet over the first 2 games, except for the garbage time runs they scored in the last few innings, they got to show some serious signs of life, and they got to out-homer the Blue Jays.
Yeah, Yankees
can I say
third best
something?
home record, Sal, 51-30.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm not even thinking about that at all. I want to caution JJ that there is something that could be more embarrassing that the Yankees getting swept by Toronto. He's bringing his mother to the game tonight. You have to, JJ, at some point. You may not think this is important now. You have to explain to her that if a foul ball hits off her hand and a 9-year-old picks it up, she cannot. Now we can't have a Karen Jastremski.
No,
type
we
situation
cannot.
here.
We cannot. And listen, there is a foul ball that's somewhere in this background. It might be on my desk that I got a couple of years ago. Actually,
Okay.
ironically enough, at a Yankee Blue Jay game, Aaron Judge hit a walk-off homer May night.
Oh,
We will give the foul ball to a kid.
you have to have that
my
conversation.
Now, the
Yes.
problem would have been before I ever got my first foul ball at a game, which was 2018. I think I would have been one of those sick human beings that like
Yeah.
hung on to it and like refused to give it to a little one. Now I'll be on good behavior.
You're a dad now.
Well, I was going to
Yeah.
say, in theory, like the next foul ball I want to get, I want to hand it to my daughter. That would be more ideal than me coming home with it. So I'll give it to another kid. We'll be on good behavior.
There's an argument to be made there. Like if these little kids are going to go to games for 50, 60 more years. If it's your foul ball, John Jastremski's first foul ball after attending 100 games, you don't know how the next time this is.
You never
gonna
know when
happen.
you're going to get one.
Yes,
Exactly.
Exactly. You know
Exactly.
what? I hope your mom steals 3 balls from you.
Nah, she'll give it to a kid.
I've changed
She'll
my
be more
mind.
concerned about the ball coming in and hitting her in the face. She's going to be
Right,
like
right,
ducking under the seat. She's going to be like, what do I do?
Well, that's
I'm
going
gonna
to
try and catch it.
There you
Yeah.
go. Okay.
Are you a believer in Jim Harbaugh's? You should bring your glove to the game, JJ. Is that something you're still
No,
willing to
and
do?
I love Jim Harbaugh. No,
that is the
like,
craziest thing I've ever heard a grown man
It's
say.
like, it's one thing if you're going with your son or your daughter and it's like an idea of like, hey, they're bringing their glove, therefore I'll bring my glove and this will be cute. I love my glove. I use it once or twice a year at a charity softball game. What am I going to do with my A2000 walking around the Delta Lounge at Yankee Stadium? People are going to be like, is this guy serious? Like, really? No. That's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, that's one of the craziest things I've ever heard Jim Harbaugh say, and he said it very seriously, as if every game he goes to, he brings his glove with him. So I think that's fascinating. Can we talk about Aaron Boone? Because Aaron Boone, we talk about fall guys all the time. When you lose, everybody wants to point the finger at somebody. And obviously, if you know New York, they're pointing the middle finger at this guy, and they have been for quite some time. Aaron Boone, how big of a problem is he for this team? And do you think this could be potentially the beginning of the end for him?
So it's interesting. I've been very critical when it comes to the Yankee manager's performance over the better part of the last 8 years. This series specifically against Toronto, this is not an Aaron Boone problem. I mean, let's acknowledge that. This is not an Aaron Boone problem. Luis
like a
Seal got
sensible
lit
take
up.
here, JJ.
The
There you
Yankee
go.
offense did nothing. Game 2, Max Fried gave him a non-competitive start. This series as a whole is not on Boone. They extended him after the World Series last year. He finally beat Boston. See, Tate and Sal, if he had lost that game to the Red Sox on Thursday, hearing Boone talk to the media and saying that it was the most pressure-packed game he ever managed, maybe this is me reading tea leaves. I kind of got the sense that if he had lost to the Red Sox, he would have been out. I do not think, even with a loss to the Blue Jays, the Yankees are making a managerial change. But the reality for Aaron Boone is this will now be, if he doesn't win, his 8th year as Yankee manager where he doesn't have a World Series championship. So that hourglass, it's ticking for him. It's ticking for Aaron Judge. Do you really want to be the manager of the Yankees for a decade, the most storied franchise in sports, and not have a world championship to your name? Like that to me is more the talking point with Boone as opposed to his job performance in this series where it's like, oh my goodness, what did he do here or what did he do there? I'll go back to the Red Sox series. The Fried game 1, I absolutely hated. I think it cost the Yankees dearly. But game 2 and game 3 managed the games well. And these games against the Blue Jays, I don't really have much to complain about.
Yeah. I asked JJ face to face. We both happened to be in the Brooklyn BAM Cafe. I don't know what, it was just coincidence last week. I asked him, the Boone Game 7, 2003 home run doesn't happen, but Boone is not the Yankees manager ever. Do you take that deal, JJ? And now I forgot what you said.
That's a conundrum right there.
No.
Yeah, it really
As I
is.
told you, Sal,
Yes.
I would.
Yeah.
Because guess what? The Yankees didn't win the World Series the year Aaron Boone hit the home run. See, like, that
Right.
moment was amazing. That 5-2 comeback was amazing. It's one of my favorite Yankee games of all time. But it doesn't have the place in my heart that some of the other games do because they didn't win the World Series. Like, they lost to the Florida Marlins, and Josh Beckett is celebrating, and Jack
Pudge
McKeon is
Rodriguez,
smoking
man.
cigars.
Yeah.
Like, awful. And I also know, Sal, what happened the following year where our buddy got to go and make a documentary and write all sorts of books. And, so it in a way would have just been easier to stomach losing a normal Game 7. There's no 3-0 collapse. And the Red Sox would have went 85 years maybe without a championship, and it just would have been, all right, they won a Game 7 against the Yankees. Okay, whatever.
See? That's a well thought out answer, Tate. I don't know if I believe him, but that's well thought. You really present a nice case.
I do feel like there is some Mandela effect with that Boone home run where, like, the casual Yankees fans think they won the World Series, or that home run won them the World Series.
Right,
Well,
right,
to
right.
be
Crazy
honest,
like
the
that.
team,
Yeah.
it felt like celebrated that night like they won the World Series and forgot the Marlins were coming in 2 days later. That's true.
There's too many celebrations, by the way. Like, you win the wild card, you pop champagne. Like, I'm overall. We need to save some of the champagne until you get to the actual
that's
World
a baseball
Series.
problem. You know what? You're right about that. But people get on like the Yankees. They'll be like, "Oh, you're the Yankees. How are you celebrating like this?" Look around the sport. Every team does this. Every single team, each round of the playoffs, the beers are out, the bubbly is out, the cigars are out. That's a baseball problem.
It's a weird thing, too, because baseball players are like the most boring of all. You know what I mean? Like on social media and everything else, you try to get them going. You try to build up some and you don't get any of that. But when it's time to celebrate, man, they're right there.
Maybe that's the idea from the media. Get them a little sauced up so they give you some better quotes after the game.
Well, and you know how it is, boys. The guys who do the least celebrate the most.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Always.
There you go. Let's go big picture here.
Yeah.
Let's go big picture. World Series, JJ. Who's winning the World Series this year?
You know, my feeling was going into this postseason, winner of Dodgers-Phillies is going to win it all. And the Dodgers have been incredible in these first two games. Now, I feel like there's going to be somebody that pushes them. I don't know who. Is it the Milwaukee Brewers, who have kind of had this feel-good ride all season long? Guys, that line between them and the Chicago Cubs was so disrespectful for the series price. I was all over the Brewers. I said it to anybody who was willing to listen. Yeah, how were the Brewers only minus 115 in that series when they kicked the Cubs' ass all year and they had a much better record and like they've had like this feel-good storyline all year? Brewers, Dodgers, I think would be fun. Dodgers probably win the series. American League, man, Toronto has that vibe. I'm not ready to bury the Yankees yet. I know, Sal, the Fox executives are praying that the Yankees can win this series and that the Yankees can get through the next round. They don't want to see Detroit. They don't want to see Seattle. They definitely don't want to see Toronto. Right. But Dodgers, Tate. I thought during the year they were vulnerable. They were going to get picked off. They were going to lose. Now it kind of seems like, hey, they get through the Phillies. Who's knocking them off? I asked you guys, who the hell's knocking them off?
Well, first of all, you could have gotten them at plus 550 before the playoffs. Now they're plus 175, right? We're odds
that
guys.
Says it all.
This is kind of right where they are. But yeah, JJ, I misrepresented, and maybe it's still coming, but I thought the Dodgers middle relief was going to crush them. And I thought the Phillies were the team that was going to start this off, and we have not seen that at all.
Well, I mean, they almost did, except for the knucklehead on Philadelphia deciding to bunt with all the momentum in the world. Game two, let's start swing the bat. Come on, Rob Thompson. Killed the inning.
Good.
Yeah, three incredible outs down the stretch in that game. I mean, the third base play that Mookie gets over to the bag, Freddie Freeman making the play to second.
Edmonds spiking the ball. I mean, my goodness.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Crazy. Every opportunity.
Yeah, it does feel like the Dodgers might be due again, and then we're going to have a real conversation about what's happening with Shohei Ohtani because he's getting an all-time, category at that point. Last thing I wanted to hit with you, JJ. Who should be the next head coach of the Dolphins? I know Mike McDaniel is still the head coach of this team, but much maligned at this point. It seems like in the press conferences, he doesn't even know what to say and doesn't want to say the wrong thing, so therefore he just kind of stammers around. But, like, who should the Dolphins be looking for, and is it Rex Ryan? Because Rex Ryan wants the job. He wants it badly.
Listen, Rex is a lot of fun. I have not gotten into the lab yet envisioning what the Dolphins are going to look like next year as far as new GM, which should be inevitable. Unfortunately, my guy Versace is probably coaching his last couple of games, whenever that might be. It's amazing how sour everybody got on McDaniel. Like 2 years ago, they're scoring 70 points, did this revolutionary offense, playing for a 1 seed in Week 17 of the 2023 season, and now you're going to be more than likely on the unemployment line at the end of the year. It just goes to show you life in the NFL comes at you fast. The name I'll throw at you guys. And, like, you're going to hear the Grudens, the McCarthys, the retreads, and then, like, whoever the hot coordinators are.
Those would
all be bad. The Dolphins had a coordinator, a linebacker coach on the staff, Anthony Campanelli. He is a Jersey Italian, loudmouth, F-bomb swearing. You saw him on Hard Knocks. Like, literally every word out of his mouth was the F word. They didn't name him defensive coordinator. Now he's in Jacksonville, and his team forces every turnover imaginable. I'm a sucker for the loud Jersey Italian. I like that. Like, that's what I want leading my football team. So maybe Coach Campanelli can go and start yelling and screaming and MF and all the guys on the Dolphins. That's, like in sports, you always do the polar opposite
Right. That
of
is a
what you
complete
had.
180 from what you got now.
There's the 180, man. Coach Campanelli in Jacksonville. Bring him back
Defensive
home.
mindset, F-bombing everybody. I love it.
Can I throw a name in there, Tate?
Yeah, please.
Maybe that's LeBron's announcement that he's taking his talents back to South Beach.
Oh,
Back to Miami.
it's not that he's got a podcast now for the Ringer?
No, it's just that,
That him and Bill
Well,
are going to
maybe
be
it's
singing
both.
Kumbaya. That will not be the announcement.
He could do both. There's no we've seen this before. Coaches
Yeah.
are
McVay
he's your new
did a
Dolphins
podcast.
coach.
Yeah.
There you
Well,
go.
McVay, I would enjoy that. Another athlete podcast. Just what we need.
Just what the world needs. Let's do our best bets. Tuesday night, obviously, we got baseball on the board, WNBA as well. But Sal, I'll go to you first. Best bet for the night. What do you like?
All right, listen, I don't want JJ to get mad at me because I want him and his mom to enjoy themselves. But why not Blue Jays over 3.5 runs tonight? Like maybe it's because they exploded because they were home and the excitement got the bats going. But I'm not going against this Toronto offense just yet. 6 games in a row, they've scored 4 runs or more. And these guys hit Rodon. Like Blue Jays have an OPS of 752 against them. Vlad's 10 for 17 against him with 3 doubles and a home run. Springer has 2 dingers against him. Alejandro Kirk is 3 for 11 with 2 doubles. JJ, you may have to win like 6-5, 7-5 type game. I like the Blue Jays over 3.5.
I have no
good?
problem with that, Sal. Especially considering it is going to be a beautiful, warm night in the Bronx. Like we're talking about temperatures in the low to mid 70s for October. Unseasonably warm means the ball can fly out of Yankee Stadium. I would endorse 3.5 runs. I wouldn't think twice about it, especially with that Yankee bullpen being the way that it is. I got 2 for you guys.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you a Yankee parlay because I don't want to lay the 150. I'll take the Yankees and Cody Bellinger. Yankee money line, Cody Bellinger to get a hit. It's a little over even money. Bellinger gets a lot of at-bats. That's something I always take into account. When you're going to take a guy to go and get a hit, you have to remember, hey, are they going to be taken out for defense? Cody Bellinger's not getting taken out for defense. And where do they hit in the lineup? Bellinger's in that 3 spot in the Yankee order. He's going to get a ton of burn, going to get a ton of at-bats. So we're going to play it that way. I also like the Tigers today, guys. I'm taking the Tigers against the Mariners. Flaherty on the mound. I don't know what kind of condition you're going to get from Logan Gilbert, who's been beat up over the last few weeks. So I'm going Tigers outright, Yankee money line with Bellinger to go and get a hit. And Sal, I'll throw the over 3.5 runs for the Blue Jays in there because I'm feeling that too. So that'll be a separent bet I'll make. I like it.
Yeah,
I got Mrs. Jastremski catching a foul ball plus 45,000.
And bringing her glove to the game. Yeah.
10 zillion to 1 on that one.
Tate likes the Tigers too.
Yeah, I like Tigers money line. I'm right there with you. The Manners, I'm a big fan of this team. Love the big dumper. Love Cal Riley. Love the just kind of atmosphere that Seattle has this year. But I do feel like they celebrated a little too much for me after that win the other night. And I think going back to Detroit, I'll take the Tigers money line plus 112. So I'm right there with you. And I will point this out, JJ. I saw Carlos Rodon a bunch in college at NC State. When the stage is big, that kid shows up. I don't know what it is, but like he's got another like gear that he can get to. So I think Rodon in this game, I like him a lot. So
well, he's
I'll
really
ride with you.
matured, Tate. I'll give him that. Like from where he was his first year with the Yankees, not a lot of guys survive that. Where it's nightmarish, you pitch terribly, you spend time on the injured list. Shows mental toughness to be able to survive the media cooker, the pressure cooker of New York, and bounce back the way he's bounced back. So I give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, love
JJ, I was
that.
thinking about what you said. Like if it's Toronto, Seattle, and Milwaukee get 3 slots in the Final Four, baseball may have to take a year off next year. That is the program.
Well, and it's like the
very
opposite of
upset.
last year, Sal, where they had Met Dodger and they were giddy, and they had the Yankees on the other side, so you can't go wrong there.
Yep.
Low key, Toronto, Seattle would actually be a really fun series.
I like watching it. I just think you're not gonna, you get casual fans.
No, casual fan ain't gonna care. We will because we'll bet it. Come on now.
Exactly.
It'll kind of be like, that one year in the NFL where it was like Brady, but then all the other quarterbacks were like Bortles, Nick Foles. You know what I mean? Like it was just like the worst group of guys ever.
Case
so it'd be like
Keenum.
Shohei. Case Keenum.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was just unbelievable. So there you go. Appreciate you guys. This has been the Ringer Gambling Show. Cousin Sal, John Jastremski. They're the best. Go check out all the bets that we put out on this show, and don't blame us if they go the wrong way. We appreciate everybody tuning into the Ringer Gambling Show, and these guys will be back tomorrow. Sal will be back tomorrow. JJ and Sal, obviously, always killing on it on Sundays. Enjoy the Rieger pregame show. It's always a good time. And we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will talk to you later.
Must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. You must be 21 or older and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPE New York in New York.